Greetings and salutations. This is Taker's Minion. Welcome to Shootin' Debris, episode number 6. Too many wrestling podcasts. Rosenberg, you're nuts. I'm joined today, as always, with my friend, Mr. Dr. Senju, also known as MDS. How's it going in the land of the rising sun?
I am doing fine. I'm a little bit giddy. Just a note of caution. I think I may or may not be a little bit buzzed. So there you go.
Drinking your sake, right?
Yep. I had fun tonight. So I had fun socializing tonight. So there you go.
Okay. Yes. So yes.
Besides I need it after my absence treating myself. So yeah, there you go. Long story short. Got sick, got healthy again, and then decided to treat myself. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, you're sounding like you're feeling better, especially if you're drinking sake. Where Monday you didn't even want to talk. Or Tuesday.
Wait a minute. Monday or Tuesday, we're getting our days mixed here.
Yes.
We're getting our days mixed here. Anyways.
Yes, and you made your debut on Cage Side Speaks last week too.
Yay.
Did you enjoy? I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I had fun. I really enjoyed my time with Cage Side Speaks, and I would like to thank 14 Fitzpatrick, for inviting me to Cage Side Speaks, and it was a very, very eye-opening experience. So there's that. Yep. But sir, let's not forget you made your second.
Yeah, I know. I'm a humble guy, so I was promoting the fact you were there.
Well, we're just kissing our asses, each other's asses, just saying we're there. Yeah,
that's right. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Nope, not at all.
I enjoy doing those because I can get my opinions out there. And the really funny thing about it is I was able to hit Fizz with two $20 fines.
With the whole mention of the barbecue balls and divas. Okay.
Yes. That was. He's like, what? No, I went back and listened to it. We were laughing way too much.
On my defense, I think I sounded off with him saying, I think you should go and listen to it again to see whether you actually did say diva or not.
I heard him say divas match. That's all I heard.
Yes. Well, hopefully, all things considered, on your side, it's a good week. Hopefully.
Yes,
overall.
It was a very good week overall. I mean, matches throughout the week were decent. I mean, we had a couple of we had 2 or 3 real gems, I thought. Mm-hmm. And we had some promo work that was outstanding, which we'll get into that later.
Yep.
The main let's hit the 1,000-pound gorilla in the room.
Okay.
Monday night on the program called Bring It to the Table. It was near the end of the show, and it's a brief thing. But they talk about too many wrestling podcasts. And Peter Rosenberg basically says, yes, there are too many. I take exception to that. We just started out. This is only our 6th episode.
Yep.
There are many more that have been here longer than both of us have. But why is he worried about the amount of podcasts out there? I mean, he's on a national powerhouse in Sirius XM. Why is he all of a sudden coming after the podcasters that are on computers for the most part? That was my biggest issue. What's he afraid of? Are his ratings on Sirius XM that bad that he needs to start attacking the little guys?
I mean, okay, here's the long and short of it by far. I think it's more that it's just increased amount of competition equals increased amount of decreasing amount of number of people coming into his channel to listen to. Then again, I would question back. You don't really watch one channel on your TV every single day, right? You have varieties. If you don't like this show, you can just change it to another channel. You'd still tune into the first channel, but still you need to have variety in your life. I mean,
Yeah.
let's look at it. Let's look at it from a non-wrestling perspective. You make your opinions, but you don't want to be narrow-minded on yourself with your only opinion. You need to have others' opinions, and then you build your own thoughts and formulate your own generalized opinion based on what other people think.
Yeah.
And when you come back, to podcasting and say opinion sites like Cage Side Seats,
Bleacher Report,
Bleacher Report, Wrestling Observer Network, Pro Wrestling Torch, etc., etc. They provide a lot of other opinions that you will take in, and you won't agree with all of them. You won't disagree with all of them, but still, an educated consumer of the wrestling product would want to have a number of viewpoints, because that's generally how we work. And like you said, I don't really understand what Peter Rosenberg is threatened about. That kind of stunt. We're having way too many podcasting networks. So
what? I don't, like I said, he must be afraid of something, but
yeah,
I get the feeling, and this is something that I didn't tell you in the pre-show meeting, that I get the feeling that he wants to be the end-all, be-all for professional wrestling. If it doesn't come out of his mouth, it didn't happen, or it's not true.
So basically, what you're suggesting is that he's trying to be Brian Alvarez.
Yes,
he's trying to be, but
Brian Alvarez, David Metzler, Jim Cornette sometimes, because he's one of those that whatever comes out of his mouth is the God's truth.
Okay, I mean, sure, you can try and emulate, but in the end, there's only one Brian. There's only one Brian Alvarez. There's only one David Metzler. There's only one Jim Cornette. You can't emulate them, because whatever you say is an opinion. Even if you pull out all the facts, even if you present them all as evidence, all these facts as evidence that you research and complete all that, they're your opinions. They're your educated, well-informed, well-researched, intelligent opinions, true, but there's still one viewpoint, one proven viewpoint. And to consumers like us, one viewpoint isn't enough. And it's already proven a few number of times that Metzler gets his facts wrong a couple of times, correct?
Right.
Yes. And as crazy as Jim Cornette sounds, sometimes he is right on certain points and occasions of his viewpoints and ideas, correct?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So.
Oh, okay. I heard a click on your end. That's why I'm like, uh-oh.
It's okay. Never mind. So what do you think? Why do you think Rosenberg says this? Is he just threatened? Is he just basing his opinions on the number of shows that he's seeing popping out like mushrooms? Because like you said, most of these wrestling podcasts that pop out like mushrooms are small times, the ones that give just our fan-sided view of opinions. Mostly Side Seats posited all, and that we're free to posit our ideas, posit our points, and all that.
Right. I mean,
so why do you think a big time channel like Rosenberg would be?
I don't know.
Threatened by us.
That's I really don't know. I mean, the ones you might have to worry about is Stone Cold's podcast and JR's podcast. Those two have been around basically. Well, JR's has been around. He's one of the originals.
Yep.
Wrestling podcasts. So he's been around for a long time.
Yes. And and let's not forget that I think most of the time, most of these old wrestling podcasts are the ones that have big names behind them. Steve Austin, Jim Ross. At one point, there's Vince Russo. At one point, there's Ric Flair. Chris Jericho has one, very popular.
Yeah, Jericho has one. You got Cornette's got one, and he's pretty popular, even though he shoots on everybody.
And
Roddy Piper had one.
He had one.
Roddy Piper had one. Rest in peace, Roddy.
Yeah, rest in peace. And back to Cornette. Even he's wildly popular just because he shoots on people. That's how.
True.
And that's why people are invested. They're just, okay, this is the idea of the man once hailed as a genius in wrestling booking.
Yep.
So, yeah, but back to the point. I think he should be more worried about these big name podcasters like Steve Austin, Jim Ross, because people get way more invested into the ideas for one, and for another. These podcasts don't really necessarily discuss everything about wrestling and whatnot. The thing that they get off more often, in a sense of popularity, is that they talk about almost anything and everything at the table. Steve Austin talks about his ranch, his wife, his life. Jim Ross basically talks football, wrestling, interviews with some of the celebrities, some of the people that he knows.
True.
Yeah. So I think
Ric Flair still has his, but I don't know where it is. He had one there on the same streaming service. No, he wasn't on Podcast One. He was on the CBS one, the same one Taz is on. And then he went off on his own. Okay. Then he went off on his own, got his own website and was podcasting there, but I don't know if he's still doing it or not.
I think he hasn't, but I might be wrong on that one. But anyway, I think in a sense, Rosenberg just needs to worry about his own show. Just worry about how he needs to concentrate more on bringing hits on his own shows. I mean, it's not wrong to have increased amount of competition. It's how you thrive in the competition that you have.
True. Don't try to swim against the grain.
Yeah.
But then again,
you don't swim again.
But then again, maybe Peter's doing this because people like me are going to talk about it because they, to get more pub. That's a thought that just crossed my mind.
Maybe. I mean, okay. Here's the one thing. Here's the one very popular scenario that everyone will know generally about media. Publicity, good or bad, is still good publicity.
Yeah.
It gets hits. It gets you noticed. Even if it's a bad kind of publicity, you're still getting hits. So
True.
in a sense, if he's bringing up this idea and then we talk about it on our show, and some other people talk about it on their show, some people write blogs about it, write articles about it on their own blog, on their own papers and all that. They're generating hits. They're generating discussion during an article. Sure, it's a plus point, but I think he doesn't need to poke to that nest, because ultimately we're just providing other opinions. We're just providing points for audiences to ponder on the world of wrestling that we love and we know and love.
That's true. That is totally 100% true. I didn't look at it that way.
Mm-hmm. Because in a sense, we're just here on one small. We don't really need to argue and bicker and fight. We can collaborate. That's all.
No.
And collaboration is one big thing cage side seats would very well do.
Yeah.
And they do it well.
Yeah, well, thank the general. Thank the General Gino, for keeping this website going. I found it. Shoot, be what, 3 years now ago?
I think so.
Something like that. And it's it's nice to meet a lot of people of the same belief in, or I've met people who are fans, not so much like I'm a fan, but fans nonetheless. I guess I never grew out of the phase of loving professional wrestling as much as I did when I was a kid. I still feel basically the same way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, I think I think we could we can definitely agree that we're all coming here to Cage Sites just to talk and discuss about wrestling and what happened in the past week. Whether we agree or disagree on it, we can definitely say we can agree to disagree on the matter.
Right.
We can share different opinions. We can share the same views on stuff, but ultimately we're just here to talk. We're just here to fan. We're basically just here to fanboy and fangirl about the stuff we call wrestling. So there's that. Anyways, I think we could definitely say that what Rosenberg said is just a way to generate a little bit of clicks for his own name. So
I think that's what it boils down to. All right, we move on.
Sure.
Bailey. Is that shoulder injury? Is that shoulder injury legitimate or is it kayfabe? I looked at the match, watched the match closely, reviewed that series of incidents and events, and to me, well, we all know that Bailey can sell really, really well.
True.
But to me,
we agree.
It looked legitimate.
To you, they look legitimate. Okay. Here's the counter argument that I could say. We already discussed an agreement that Bailey knows how to sell emotions very, very well. Back in NXT, she sells emotions in every match that she has. It is very much prevalent back when she faces Sasha Banks for the NXT Women's title, and she sells emotions like matchstick to a fire. And don't you see the possibility that this could also be a work on her end?
It could be.
I mean, okay. Think of it this way.
Like I said, I don't know. I thought I didn't think Kurt Angle was that good of an actor. Boy, he pulled off the whole Jason Jordan thing. I didn't think Kurt Angle could pull it off.
Number one, he pulled out the Jason Jordan thing very well. Number one, even though I have my initial disagreement about the host pick, but I'll keep it for now. And you forget to mention that Kurt Angle is a great seller when Roman Reigns crashed the ambulance in.
Yeah.
That's another thing. But let's get back to Bailey.
But I still say that situation, only Braun and Roman knew about it. Braun, Roman, and Vince to get the raw emotion out of Kurt. Because if you look at it, it looked like he had no idea that was going to happen.
True. I mean, okay, let's put it this way. Doesn't that situation kind of mirrors this situation with Bailey? I mean, we could posit and we could assume that only a few people know. Few people know that it's a work. But we're not going to post it as a work. We're going to post it out to the WWE universe as a legitimate injury. Because we both agree that usually an injury leads to one of two things, or both things happening at the same time. You actually have an injury and you need to treat it, or we need to hard reset your character.
Yeah.
It's either one of those supposed options.
That's true. That makes sense. Damn you and your logic, Mr. Spock.
Oh, I got that one away. Okay, but okay. Isn't that why you hired me here in the first place, to posit logic?
Yes.
To posit logic. Anyway, in a sense, you can definitely say that we can definitely both agree on one thing. Bailey needed a reset on her character, even though she's been wildly popular with the little girls demographic. Some of us feel that she needs a reset on her character, or she needs a tweak on her character. What if this injury pulls Bailey back a little bit, give Sasha the main event, and quite possibly bring back Bailey as a heel? I'm just positing. I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
Don't bite me, internet.
It might bite us both because
bite me.
I've been advocating for a Bailey heel turn for a while.
You and both.
Yeah,
Because
we get so much grief for it. God, do we get grief for that?
I think the grief. I think the grief end is more on your side because you actively argue against it. You actively argue for it. Sorry. While I just keep my ideas on the podcast here because both of us will agree that Bailey needed a reset, and her heel work, both as Davina Rose, was awesome, and it showed in flashes in her Snickers commercial.
Yes,
that was awesome.
Yes, there's heel. There's
So why not?
There's Bay heel at their finest.
Yes, that's Bay heel at her finest. So why not? Why don't we see this as a potential reset where the creative is working as this is a legitimate injury, we need to pull Bailey out, and in a sense they can reset the character.
Yeah, I can see that.
It fits to a logical standpoint, and to a storyline standpoint it could work because we're always advocating for Bailey turning heel rather than Sasha turning heel. More likely because we want to see Bailey turn heel and see what she can do with her character when she is a heel.
Exactly.
And it's not possible. It's not impossible. It's not impossible if it is a legitimate injury and Bailey gets taken off the WWE cameras for a while, and she can heal up and she can reset her character. Maybe she can get her character work a little bit, refine her character work, and then come back a better character, whether it be a face or a heel.
See her coming back as a heel. She could say that the universe forgot about her because she was hurt. She wasn't there. This that. Nobody's she didn't get any cards or letters or anything like that. Blah blah blah. The typical screw you universe. You didn't care about me while I was out fixing my shoulder.
Exactly. And don't forget, you posited the idea that Izzy actually turned on Bailey herself.
True, because Izzy's wearing Alexa Bliss gear. So
exactly. I mean, it's not hard to fathom these possibilities that may happen. We're just gonna. The only big question that I can see is that whether the injury is legit or the injury is real. That's where our argument stands. I think she's working it. You think she's actually having a legitimate injury?
Until I find out otherwise.
Because honestly speaking, like I said, it's 50-50 on this. It's basically just 50-50 on my part. It can be a work, it can be a legitimate injury, but we both know where it comes. We both know where the end product the end story comes out from this injury story.
Yeah. So
it's either I can posit every single logical standpoint on logical points or logical lines that they can go with, but until we have a concrete evidence, solid evidence that she is actually injured and actually went to the hospital to treat her shoulder injury, we can only speculate.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to argue on that point, I can provide Becky's own storyline on SmackDown. Is she injured or is she working injured?
Or because of the ankle and the knee 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, because she tweaked her knee 2 weeks ago, and then last week she tweaked her ankle.
Or 2 weeks ago was the ankle, and then it was a knee just this past week.
Let's just say that she tweaked her leg on these past 2 weeks ago.
That makes sense.
Okay. So why
there's another one, and here again, whether it's real or it's not. This is things that I have talked about on several threads and posted several things about the amount of bumps these people are taking today versus the amount of bumps that were taken in the golden era when I was watching, in the older days, in the 70s and early 80s, the amount of bumps were a third of what they're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And my best example is that barbecued nuts was Baron von Raschke at ringside, who I truly believe, should be in the WWE Hall of Fame, even though he never wrestled a day in the WWE. At 79 years old, looks like he could still put on a match today.
True. Like I won't contest that argument because it's true. Because as time goes by, the need for something flashing, the need for something showy on wrestling shows is more and more prevalent. Back then it was just okay, let's just do technical wrestling. You do headlock, I do headlock, and then you suplex me and I suplex you, and all that. You don't ever see people go, okay, I'm gonna climb up to the turnbuckle and then I'll fly off the turnbuckle, give you a flying elbow or a flying drop kick.
Right. I mean, yeah, you didn't see the missile drop kick. You didn't see Hurricane Ranas off the top rope. I mean, they jump mainly from the second rope.
Yep.
Okay. You jump off the top rope, you were disqualified. Plain and simple. You know,
that was the I think that was the ruling when it was in 1970s or 1960s.
Yeah, WCW was doing that for a little while.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that. I mean, the difference between back then and right now is always going to be a huge topic of debate, whether it's relevant now or it's relevant then. It's going to be a huge topic of debate. But back to Bayley's standpoint, yes, I agree. The amount of bumps that she took is pretty.
You talking about Becky? You mean?
Yes, I'm talking about Becky.
Yeah,
the amount of bumps that she took.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah.
The amount of bumps she's taking, what?
Yeah, the amount of bumps that she's taking is not as insane as what men would do, but she's taking a lot of huge bumps, basically. And we have to remember that she once had a very life-threatening injury that almost derailed her wrestling career.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. And if she's wrestling
hurt now, legitimately hurt,
mm-hmm.
she's running the risk of putting herself in that same position again.
Yes, and here's where I bring the question: why don't WWE post a similar YouTube video or just a statement saying that Becky Lynch is legitimately injured, or just Becky Lynch is injured right after SmackDown?
Because like you said, do they really want to have their two top baby faces go down simultaneously?
Exactly. I mean, one loss on Raw as for Bayley is fine, but on both flagships, on both Raw and SmackDown, where Becky and Bayley is gone, and they have to scramble around to search for an adequate replacement. I'm not saying that both Sasha Banks and Charlotte are not a bad replacement, but
Charlotte's not ready.
Yeah, I would reluctantly agree on that one. Charlotte, to me, Charlotte needs time to bed her tweener or face character a little bit more before she takes the mantle as the top babyface.
Right.
Before Naomi, which is the white meat babyface of the SmackDown division.
She is.
Yeah. But we've already seen Sasha Banks work face in Raw.
Yes, we have, and she's good at it.
And she's good at it. But after Sasha Banks, if Sasha Banks wins the title from Alexa Bliss, who else would challenge her?
Let's see. We got Emma.
Mm-hmm.
We've got. Well, you know, there's going to be the rematch of Alexa Bliss, so we got Alexa Bliss again.
Yeah.
You got Alexa Bliss, Emma, Nia Jax.
Mm.
There's three.
Could
Mickey James flip over to heel side? Sure.
I mean, she's gonna start off flipping her allegiances
Just
like Big
about
Show
as much,
does.
as I was saying, about as much as Big Show does.
Exactly. She's gonna flip just as much as Big Show does. But okay, never mind. There's a lot. There's a lot of possibilities. But does WWE have the time to create a face or a heel character that could challenge Sasha Banks at that time? I don't think so.
The only one I think that could actually probably pull it off is Mickey James.
And she's already bedded. The only thing is that she's a veteran.
Right.
And we haven't seen Mickey James in like
a couple of months now.
Yeah. 2 months, 3 months, I think.
No, we saw her in the gauntlet match, and we also saw her in the 5-woman elimination match for the title for number one contender.
So she's been gone for what? She's been gone for at least a month. Yeah. At least a month. So
she's probably doing more stuff back. She's probably doing more stuff backstage than she is anything else.
Granted, yeah, I can see that, but in a sense, WWE hasn't got enough time to bed proper faces or proper heels to face Sasha Banks on the Raw roster.
No.
For SmackDown is a little bit of an easier proposition because if let's say Natalya wins the title from Naomi in SummerSlam,
which is what I see happening, but that's a whole other story we'll talk about.
Okay. And then let's say Carmella uses her Money in the Bank, cashes in her Money in the Bank at that moment. Instantly, you create a sympathetic babyface who lost the title, and you create a heel who took the opportunity and got herself a title.
Right.
They have that escape clause, and so to speak, they have that kind of like get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
If Becky is injured.
Yeah.
If Becky's injured. That don't work for Raw. That don't work for Raw Women's Division.
Raw don't have anything like that. And I've always wondered why the Money in the Bank briefcases, both of them, are restricted to one show. They should be cross over and threaten either side where needed.
Yes.
You know, because if Bayley is going down, if Bayley goes down, we're going to need some help on that side. Same with Becky. We've got to help with Carmella in the briefcase.
Exactly. I mean, again, like I said, SmackDown has it a little bit easier because they have that get out of jail free card and Carmella holding the Money in the Bank contract. For Raw, it doesn't. They don't have that luxury. No. If Bayley is okay, let's go back to the argument whether both Becky or Bayley are legitimately injured or working injured, or not injured, but they're just working it off.
Right.
Let's go back to this. If Bayley is legitimately injured, we both could agree that it signals either a change in character or a refresh of her character, a little bit of tweak or a little bit of changing of allegiances, which we hope that would make Bayley turn heel, hopefully.
Right.
Or if they want to still stick to the Bayley being a face and Sasha turning heel, fine. I think even if we argue up to the point that Bayley deserves to be a heel or Bayley should turn heel just to evolve her character a little bit more, either or, WWE is going to WWE on that one.
Yeah.
But we hope that Bayley turns heel, because we both know that injuries either leads to a reset on a character or you heal up after an injury. For Becky, it's a little bit vague, because WWE didn't say out loud, didn't say out publicly that she's injured. You only heard rumors that Becky is injured. That's it. We haven't heard statements from WWE saying that she's injured or just posting something similar to the line of Becky's post this week.
Right. Well, the thing about it is that commentary was really selling the fact that she did something to her leg.
True.
For Becky. And same on Monday, commentary was selling Bayley's arm her shoulder getting injured. So commentary did their job.
Mm-hmm.
WWE followed up with the stuff on Bailey, but hasn't followed up with anything on Becky yet, which I don't understand.
And this is already Saturday on my end.
Yeah.
And there's still no story on Becky. There's a story on Bailey, which leads me to say that what Bailey has is actually a work. I think we're still 50-50 on it, because I know you agree. I know you say that Bailey is legitimately injured. Sorry. But the whole drawing the line in the sand gets vague with Becky, because there's no official statement. We can't know for sure. And it's already like 2 days since SmackDown aired, and we still don't have any official statements on that, which leads me to think that either she's working injured, she doesn't want to be treated, or just that she's not injured at all. It's just a tweak, and she'll just work it off.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how I see it, anyways.
I know, and I'm not going to argue that, because trying to argue that with somebody who, try to change someone's opinion is a lot of work.
Number one, it's a lot of work. We both had experiences on that one.
Yes. We finally have that person understanding, though.
Yep. But all points aside on that one, I think until we know for sure whether both Bailey and Becky are injured or not, we'll just say for sure that this is kind of where WWE is kind of working with us on storyline wise. They're just working us on this. With Bailey, it's a little bit more sure. With Becky, it's a little bit more vague. And until we know a lot more facts than we have right now, we only can posit and we only can assume.
True.
But all that aside, it was a fun week. It was a good, solid week for wrestling. Surprisingly, after a solid week last week, Raw went back to the doldrums again.
Yeah, they put on a hell of a triple threat match Monday night.
Yeah, that's the high point. But then again, the rest of it is kind of like paint by the numbers show for this week.
Yep. No, that's a match. I watched that match, and it's like, well, looks like the ring can handle 3/4 of the beef.
True.
And Brock
3/4, but
and Brock and Heyman coming out and saying, if Brock Lesnar loses a title, he's leaving WWE. Well, I'm like this: if you want to leave, leave.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, leave. You got the challenge that was thrown out there by John Jones.
Yep.
Right after he beat Daniel Cormier.
Mm-hmm. And he responded, actually.
Yeah. Be careful what you wish for. Is he back in USADA? That's the question.
As far as I know, they're saying that he's not in US. Some say that he's not in USADA yet. Some say that he has registered himself. But those were from unofficial sources saying that he's already in USADA. So
I think he never really left USADA, but they're working us. Dana White and company are working us.
Could be. I mean,
I don't think he ever withdrew, but I think they're saying that as a ploy. I think this whole thing is going to lead to a confrontation somewhere between those.
Is this actually you're saying that this is actually Dana White WWE-ing us in a way? He's
WWE and UFC kayfabing and working the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
Because what did we just have recently go down at the Mae Young Classic during the tapings? We had the confrontation of the 4 horsewomen of UFC and 3 of the 4 horsewomen of WWE.
Well, you could count.
And then you got Cyborg. Then you got Cyborg challenging Becky Lynch to a match.
Yeah. For the former, I think you could count 4 horsewomen of the WWE because Sasha Banks was there, just that she's on her phone.
Yeah.
Someone is holding them. So yeah, technically you can say 4 horsewomen. So there's that. But yes, all these connections with WWE and UFC are a little bit kind of like coincidental, too coincidental to be exact.
Right.
Yeah, because you have Shayna Baszler kind of tossing out the challenge to all the 4 horsewomen, and then you have Chris Cyborg challenging Becky Lynch, and vice versa. They're challenging each other. Rumors are saying that that's not going to lead anywhere. In the case of Becky Lynch.
How many times have we heard rumors say, "Oh, that's not going to happen," and that's exactly what happens 3-4 months later.
Plenty of times. I can't say when, but plenty of times.
But oh, that's not going to happen, and all of a sudden, there it is.
Yeah, true. Like no, but like I said, it may happen, it may not happen. But I don't trust that rumor, because in a sense that this is way too the Twitter exchange between Becky and Chris Cyborg. It's kind of like they're getting in a lot more invested into it. If this is just a work on all of this, they're getting way too invested on this. Like there is an end product, but they're actively saying that it's not. It's just not. They're just smoke and mirrors. They're just throwing smoke and mirrors at us until suddenly SummerSlam. Okay, Becky and Bayley. Sorry, Chris Cyborg and Becky Lynch. Yep. They're fighting in SummerSlam. And this is a small segue, which pulls us back to Becky getting injured. What if Becky getting injured is WWE's way of protecting her until SummerSlam?
That could be.
Yeah. If we want to posit the assumption that the challenge between Chris Cyborg and Becky Lynch is going to happen at SummerSlam, what if this is WWE's under the radar way of protecting Becky until she's fully fit and okay? You can go up against Chris Cyborg, because we both know that even though both these wrestling and UFC are wildly different things, similar things at the same time, they're total different beasts altogether.
Yeah,
and they need to have at least these two people getting on the same page to work in the ring.
Well, that's true. I agree with. 100% agree. It like I said, there's just way too much interaction these days between people in the UFC and people in WWE.
The WWE.
There's been a lot of interaction lately, and it's like, have Dana and Vince buried the hatchet? And if so, how?
Okay.
And I think part of it has to do with what Ronda did at WrestleMania 30 in San Jose,
mm-hmm.
and what Conor McGregor is doing with Floyd Money Mayweather.
Mm-hmm. And you do remember that WWE tried to hitchhike the bandwagon that is Mayweather versus McGregor, and kind of failed in that sense.
Yeah.
So they needed another outlet. And so, what about UFC? It's a question. It's a far-reaching assumption, but it's a logical assumption.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, it all started with Ronda basically judo throwing Triple H in WrestleMania 30.
That's where it all started, and I was like, and the rumors started flying that she was going to come to WWE, and I'm like, yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have all these rumors that
yes, please take my pants. There go my pants out the window.
and then you have these rumors where Paige Van Zandt is trying to come into WWE in Performance Center to try and train herself as a wrestler. All these rumors about WWE trying to get UFC fighters to go into the PC to try and become wrestlers on their own and whatnot. You have all these rumors, and it only on this year, I think, where the rumors started, where the connection between WWE and UFC started to go way overboard. It's too much to be. It's too much to become. This is actually just coincidence. Is it coincidence now? We're moving on. We're moving past from this is coincidence to the borders of is this actually coincidence or is this just them working together and we just don't see it yet?
That could be. But let's get back to the 3/4 of the beef.
Okay.
That was a very solid match. Everybody got their stuff in that they could.
Yep.
They showed Braun did not eat the pin. They're protecting him.
Yes.
Joe ate it.
Joe ate it, but I think Joe's character is strong now, so that him eating him getting the loss doesn't really affect him going into SummerSlam.
No, it doesn't. He had two huge men. There were three rather huge men in that ring, and they were pounding each other pillar to post. And with the one, Braun Strowman, the biggest one, he did a lot of the heavy lifting in that match. I saw that as like a test for him if he could carry a match like that. And he did it. In my opinion, he carried that match.
I agree. And I always posited this. As much flack as Roman Reigns is getting, as much of a John Cena-like character that people are positing him as, he's a fantastic worker. You tell him what to do, he'll do it. Even with this sickening line of suffering succotash, he still does it.
Oh yeah,
He's a company man through and through.
He's come a long way.
Mm-hmm. But now, right now, and seeing seeing WWE Creative putting the trust, yes, exactly, putting the trust on Roman Reigns to carry both these men up is a statement in and of itself.
Yep.
For one, I can't wait to see what SummerSlam has for these four men, Brock Lesnar included.
Oh yeah.
And I won't be surprised. And I won't be surprised if Brock Lesnar loses the title at SummerSlam.
Neither would I.
Yeah, because earlier on, I would argue that Brock Lesnar might hold the title for another round, possibly just reaching up to Survivor Series. But I think now, getting him to lose the title in SummerSlam is also a decent option. Is a good option, actually, not just decent. It's good.
Yeah, because of the possible big match going on with John Jones.
Exactly. But here's where I kind of have I have an axe to grind with people. I have an axe to grind because on that same Raw, we have Elias Sampson losing his surname. Why?
Oh, yes. Who was? I don't know.
Why?
I don't know, but I never really cared about that character, so it don't bother me one way or the other.
Neither does me, and neither do I. But you have to realize something. You have to notice something. Elias Sampson is starting to pick up steam in Raw.
Yeah, he is.
Correct?
He is.
Yes. Even though his character is kind of like, we don't really get his character yet. He's starting to get some traction. And soon enough, WWE decided that, okay, I think you're getting a little bit too high. And you're getting popular. So why not we just shrink your name from Elias Sampson to just Elias? And when I saw that, I just in my mind, I was just like yelling from here to the sky. Why? You already did it with Biggie. With Biggie Langston, you cut his surname until you just get Biggie, and then you cut Cesaro's name from Antonio Cesaro to just Cesaro, and then you cut Rusev's name from Alexander Rusev to just Rusev, and now Elias Sampson. What do they? What did they do to get this kind of treatment?
I don't know.
Because
I can't answer that question. The only people that can answer that question is the WWE, and they're not going to say shit. Sorry, they're not going to say shit.
Yeah, I know.
They're going to be like, who the hell do you think you are asking us what we're doing? You don't know what you want. We're going to tell you what you want, damn it, and you're going to like it.
It's a questionable practice. It baffles my mind. Why do you need to cut it off? Especially when all these four men, Cesaro, Rusev, Big E, and Elias Sampson, all these four men are starting to get traction, if you realize. They're well into the process of establishing themselves, and then suddenly they get their name shrunk. Okay, here's a little bit of history. Cesaro won the United States Championship and formed the Real Americans with Jack Swagger before he left WWE. And then WWE decided to slice the name Antonio from Antonio Cesaro, so they keep it to Cesaro. This is 2.5 years after his call up from NXT, okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's one. It's odd because they said, rumor has it that someone within the company doesn't believe that Antonio sounded tough enough.
Okay.
So Cesaro sounded a little bit more tougher.
All right.
Okay, that's one. We move on to Big E. Big E Langston became Big E after winning the Intercontinental Championship. WWE waited. Okay, this is another person. WWE waited until fans connected with Adrian Neville as NXT champion and been with the company for more than 2 years before they start removing his first name to Neville.
Well, when he was brought up from NXT, they shortened his name. They dropped Adrian already, so they dropped it before he even came to the main roster. And the Mighty Mouse character he had was a joke. We all know that.
Yes, I agree on that one. But you have to remember that he picked up traction in NXT.
Yeah. So did Cesaro.
So basically, so did Cesaro. But you have to realize the pattern that they sliced their names off just when they were starting to pick up steam. Hmm. And then, but then again, okay, WWE didn't wait very long for Elias to switch. I mean, he just got his name in half after 3 months into his main roster run, and
like I said, I can't answer that question.
I could posit that they wanted to kind of like market one line namers like Elias, like Prince, Madonna.
Maybe it's easier for him. Who knows?
I don't know.
I don't either. All we could do is spitball here, and the answer we come up with won't be right. So why frustrate yourself? Stop it.
I know, but it frustrates me. It
is frustrating. It is frustrating, but we both know that professional wrestling is what it is. We cannot.
Yes,
we cannot. I don't want to put you in the same category as someone else who is beating a dead horse right now, because neither one of us can come up with an answer that's going to satisfy you. So why continue to discuss it?
I know, but it grates my mind so much about it. I mean, the name Antonio Cesaro is cool already, but then you slice the Antonio out and you just stick to Cesaro. My God.
Yeah.
They're going to do this again and again, and I hope that they don't really touch on almost everyone. I mean, wouldn't it be ridiculous if you listen to Finn Balor's name and then he's introduced as just Finn?
No, if anything, they would change it just to Balor, which you and I had a discussion. What was it? Tuesday night?
Yes.
Of Finn losing it when he's in this match against
Elias Sampson. Oh yeah, Bray. Okay.
Bray. He's got a feud with Bray going into SummerSlam, it looks like.
Yes.
That I threw out the possibility of the Demon, because he has said it more than once. He said it in interviews and everything like that, that character takes a part of him every time he pulls out the Demon character.
Mm-hmm. True.
That after this match, the Demon cannot be put away. he just sits there in the background, and you could see it in his eyes that it's there, but he's still his normal self most of the time, except when he gets in the ring.
True.
Hence, the Good Brothers save him from something, and they form a new, quote unquote, new Bullet Club here in WWE.
Yeah, we could pause it. But here's the thing. Here's the thing when I'm a little bit more calm. I mean, ring names are part of package of wrestlers, correct?
Huh?
I mean, you could ring names, character names are part of the package of a wrestler. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Ric Flair, Bruno Sammartino. These names are iconic. You can't say you can posit that you can just say Sammartino and then you can instantly recognize which Sammartino you're mentioning. You're not going to say David Sammartino, Bruno Sammartino's son, correct? You're going to instantly jump Bruno Sammartino when I say the word just Sammartino. And I'm just positing, but I think that WWE is trying to kind of create that kind of thing, but it's too far-reaching because the name compacting trend provides less opportunity to detail your character in the WWE ring currently. And if they continue this trend, I don't know whether the talents that they have could carry on bringing their characters into the ring, onto the main roster, or onto the WWE universe as a whole.
True.
It's hard to imagine. I mean, it's hard to imagine. And as much as you like to say that I don't have to be bothered by it, it bothers me because it's getting up to be a trend because it's already been 6. If you want to count unofficial, it's going to be 7 because you have Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy? No, Blake and Murphy. Correct. Okay, these two have been cut to just Murphy and Blake when they were together as tag team champions with Alexa Bliss back then. Yeah,
where have they been?
See,
they're slipped into obscurity.
Mm-hmm. And again, unofficially, if you want to count one of your most underrated wrestlers, Natalya was once called Natalya Neidhart.
Right, I know this.
Yes, and WWE taking the Neidhart out from Natalya is going to be a head scratcher. Why you put the name Flair on Charlotte back again, but not Natalya's surname Neidhart from her name as well? Rather than have her.
I'll tell you part of the reason.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
The Anvil has a lot of shade or a lot of heat with the WWE management. Hence the dropping of her last name to try to move her away from her father some.
True. Yeah. Okay. But okay, even if a former wrestler throws shade at the WWE product currently, won't that be just a minor issue? I mean, they already ironed the issue out with Bruno Sammartino, and Bruno Sammartino went into the Hall of Fame wholeheartedly. They already ironed that out. Why not with Jim Neidhart himself?
Drugs.
Other wrestlers have done worse than drugs.
True.
I mean, it's still going to be a head scratcher. You and I could agree that we can't really see where it goes, but it's getting into a trend, and it's getting into a very worrisome trend where a wrestler gets his name that WWE himself offered or he created, gets cut in half, and it's getting into a point where it's starting to get a little bit more worrisome.
Yeah.
And if it continues on, I have no idea what WWE has in plan with the one name line and all that. Yeah. But anyways.
You digress.
Yes. I digress. and
we need to get back to the week.
Okay.
We had an outstanding match on Tuesday night.
on SmackDown. Yeah,
on SmackDown between John Cena and Shinsuke Nakamura,
yes,
which tore the house down.
yep.
You know, all the naysayers of Nakamura saying, he's just mailing it in. He's this. He's that. We saw strong style in full effect in this match from both people involved. Now, the stuff at the very beginning of the match was hilarious. I was sitting there laughing. You know, Nakamura ducking under the lockup, and you know, and then John Cena returning the favor and doing the "you can't see me," and Nakamura wiping his eyes like, "What the hell just happened?"
Of course.
And then the lockup happens. They push Cena in the corner. He does his arm swing with his guy's head in his chest, and then he backs up and does puts two fingers up over his eyes like binoculars. Says, "I see you." I mean, that was awesome. I was sitting there going, "This is going to be good. This is going to be good."
And it did turn out good, correct?
Both men delivered. I say it was a 4.75 star match, 4.75. I wouldn't give it a full 5, but it was close.
It was close. It's not like you said. I agree. It's a 4. To me, it's a 4.5 or to a 4.75, because there are certain things that they could do better. I mean, granted, they just in the ring they just met one time and they already wrestled one time. And they still need to work out the chemistry, and they still need to work out the kinks.
But I mean, overall, the chemistry is great.
Yes, I can't deny you on that one, because on that interaction alone, non-wrestling moves aside, their character interaction was awesome.
Oh God, yes,
I mean, and I already posited to you this point. You give Nakamura a challenger who can take his hits, take his style, and dish it back up to him, and he'll deliver. And you give him Cena. Oh my God. And Cena, if you give him a big name challenger like Nakamura, he'll deliver. He'll almost always deliver a 4-star or even even close a 5-star match.
Yeah.
I mean, you already saw that. The long list of names that Cena has gone through with other big name stars. There's a long list, and almost all of them would be a great match.
Even when Cena was younger, you know, and still kind of new, the match he had with Big Show for the U.S. Championship, that was a great match.
That was, and I think that match was the moment where John Cena established himself as one of the big names, if not the biggest name.
I agree. I mean, that was a hell of a match.
Yes.
And this match, with like you said, all the comedy at the very beginning put aside, which I felt was great. I mean, Jesus, you don't see that anymore. But in the short time they had, I think the match was 17 or 18 minutes.
I think it was 17 minutes, give or take.
Yeah, give or take. But to get the crowd chanting, "This is awesome," not even a third of the way in, they had something. They have something that they can build on.
Yes, exactly. I mean, imagine the possibility.
This is not the last of John Cena, Shinsuke Nakamura. This is not the end of it.
I don't think so. I mean, imagine the possibility.
This is one of those feuds that they could just print money with, because, oh God, the matches they could put on, and all the different stipulations they could put on the matches.
I mean, think about it. If Nakamura, let's posit this: if Nakamura wins the title from Jinder Mahal, and suddenly
I see happening,
and suddenly Cena wants to cash in his 17th chance of winning that world title. Wouldn't that be would that be a pants off moment for everyone?
WrestleMania moment for everybody.
Yes.
That would be a match. That would be a match you put as a main event at WrestleMania.
Yes.
And give those two 30 minutes and let them go. They'll have a ball.
And I don't care whether Nakamura loses the title to Cena and Cena gets the 17th title as he should deserve, or even if Nakamura wins under WrestleMania lights. It's going to be a blast, regardless of the result.
Yes, that will be one of the matches that people will talk about for the next 20 years.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
see, we're already throwing our money at this, and it hasn't even started yet. It's like, here, take all my money.
Oh,
take it all.
And then you always see pants flying. And okay, Fizz and I would just find umbrellas or even just a roof to hide in. Please, no more pants flying. But sure, yes. This is not the last time you'll see Cena and Nakamura lock horns.
No. God,
not
no.
by a long shot. Because we already seen what Cena can do with a big name opponent. The most recent one would be Styles.
Oh, God, they printed money with that.
Yes. The most recent one would be John Cena and AJ Styles. And man, that was a good.
Well, the one before that was John Cena and Kevin Owens, and they printed money with that one over the U.S. title.
Exactly. I mean, basically, if you see the small pattern that they have, it's like, let's take one indie darling that you know and you love, bring it to WWE, and then make him face John Cena. That's going to be the pattern that they're going to do. And if Cena could last for about, I think, 2 to 3 years more, we could see a lot more. We could see a lot more possibilities of big indie darling names coming up to WWE roster and face John Cena again, and they will print money about it.
Like Drew McIntyre.
Yes,
or
even
Cassius Ohno.
Cassius Ohno.
Hideo Itami. Oh, he could. I think those two could pull something up if Itami can stay healthy. That's the issue. Yes. But the one I'm looking at the most, the one that impresses me the most from NXT male wise is Aleister Black.
Oh, I cannot say much about it that hasn't already been said. His character build in NXT is perfect. It's kind of like Undertaker-esque in a sense.
It is. He just comes in, beats the shit out of you, hits you with the black mass kick. 1, 2, 3. It's over. It's done.
Yes, that's it. And they're not letting him speak even. They're not even letting him speak. And even if he does speak, he only just speaks simply.
Yep. It's like the match he had with that guy who just
the current one
debuted this past week.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Oh, what's his name?
Kyle O'Reilly.
Something like that. That was a hard hitting match.
Yes, because if you remember, if some of you would remember, Kyle O'Reilly was once an ROH member, ROH talent, and he's an indie darling as well. He's more famous for being the tag team partner of Bobby Fish, who's also in NXT currently right now.
Yeah,
and they formed a tag team partnership called the We Dragon. And they kicked ass. And
yes, they did.
Yes, they did. And seeing him in the ring and knowing the body of work that Kyle O'Reilly has, it's going to be hard hitting. And man, did they deliver. And man, did Aleister Black's character build-up is so good. He just comes in, all Darth Vader-esque in a way and all Undertaker-esque in a way. And he just kicks ass, sets you up for the Black Mass kick. That's it. He'll just walk off.
Yep. And he sits down when he's done. After he wins, he sits down like, ho-hum. Another day at the office.
Yes, another day at the office. I'm just collecting my paycheck by punching my card with a black mass kick in your face, basically.
Yep.
What about that? And what about this? What about the post-match where the confrontation between Aleister Black and Hideo Itami?
That was a pre-match. That was great.
Yeah.
You know, Hideo Itami, you need to respect me. You need to respect me. A black mass kick to the face. Boom, you're done. Match made for Takeover Brooklyn 3.
Yes. Or they had a fallout. They had a fallout actually after NXT.
I didn't see that.
Yes, where Aleister Black was going back, and he was almost assaulted by Hideo Itami, Hideo Itami demanded that he gets his respect back again. So they're possibly building up to it, to a confrontation between Black and Itami, which I look forward to because it's going to be hard hitting. Of course it is, because the formerly known as Kenta, he is very hard. He's one of the talents that knows strong style.
Okay, so you would say this then. Put Kenta, also known as Hideo Itami, in the same ring with Shinsuke Nakamura, would probably tear the house down.
Would probably tear the house down. Granted, Itami has a little less experience than Nakamura. Granted,
But do you think Nakamura could carry Itami to a great match?
Oh, he definitely can. WWE sense, but before his work in NJPW, he does carry a lot of people.
I
mean, he doesn't have to carry a lot of people because most of the people there know how to carry themselves anyways. But in a sense that he knows how to carry a match and he knows when to give the match to someone else. He knows the back and forth of it, basically. And a lot of people don't really credit that much about it. But all in all, SmackDown was awesome. SmackDown was awesome back again because we already seen AJ Styles and Kevin Owens have that kind of altercation.
Oh, yes, and the botched pin.
Yes, don't forget
that. I'm loving the fact that Shane is going to be the referee in that match.
Yes.
You know, that's going to be very, very interesting, especially if KO loses again. He's gonna scream up and down to WWE. There's a conspiracy in WWE management against him. Blah blah blah. He's gonna snap and probably blow every gasket in his entire body.
Yes, because we both love when unhinged Kevin Owens, who's just raging at all people around him, is the best character that we can see.
No heel or face is safe. Nobody is safe. Kevin Owens will just come in the ring and beat the shit out of everybody and leave.
Basically, it's like Shawn Michaels super kicking every single one when he heard that Eric Bischoff is going to be the special guest referee. Basically, he just super kicks everyone.
Right.
And you see Kevin Owens just punching people left and right, basically. And another surprising match would be Chad Gable versus Rusev. That was surprising.
I'll tell you what, Chad Gable handled himself really well in that match. He worked. Exactly. He is. You know, I didn't think Chad Gable was that good of a worker by himself. Well, I'm gravely mistaken. I watched that match and I'm going. So it wasn't Jason Jordan who was carrying the team. They were carrying each other.
Well, on pedigree wise, both Chad Gable and Jason Jordan are Olympian grade athletes. They know how to wrestle, basically. But yes, if you want to compare talent wise, Gable is the more sound wrestler, and Gable is still finding himself as a singles competitor.
And you could actually see in that match that just the amateur style that Gable was using was literally confusing Rusev because he's
okay. You put a powerhouse brawler like Rusev against a man who can wrestle and who can fight like Gable, and of course he's going to be confused. It's perfect storytelling. I mean, you put a semi-pro fighter against a very good professional fighter who knows how to do tricks and all that. They're gonna blindside you for a couple moments, and that is good storytelling right there. Because initially Rusev cannot work around Gable, and Gable was running circles around him.
He was.
And it's only when Rusev brings down the power moves where he grounds Gable up. It's basically was when Rusev was picking up steam, but still Gable can catch up.
Yep.
Gable
has got a great career ahead of him as a singles wrestler. This match showed it to me.
Yes, and like you said, it's a little bit sad that he could not get traction personality wise, but on a wrestling side, it's beautiful.
He needs to bring back the more heel persona, the Ready, Willing, and Gable stuff that he was doing in NXT.
Yes,
and it'll get over.
and I think that Chad Gable was looking to break out on that Tuesday. So yes.
Yeah, he got his breakout match. Even though he got his breakout match, even in the loss, he looked great.
He looked great because
and out of that match, we've got going into SummerSlam, Rusev Machka versus the Viper, Randy Orton. Oh boy. Is Randy going to bring his A game or is he going to mail it in? That's the biggest worry I've got right now.
I don't know. I mean, they just the start of an Orton Rusev rivalry is just going to be. Personally, I think it's going to be just their bounce back things because this is Orton's bounce back from Mahal. Rusev is just there. Rusev is just there to either put him over or either just crush him after the loss with Cena. Because I hope that Rusev gets the win because
he needs something.
Yes.
Give this guy a bone. I'm sorry. Yes. He needs a bone.
Yes, exactly. I mean, this is a guy who just came back from injury and already has his first loss. Give him a win and put him in a program with Gable anyways, because these two can wrestle. So okay.
Yep.
That would be even more interesting rather than an Orton-Rusev rivalry on SummerSlam.
Yeah. That's the match I thought I was going to see at SummerSlam was Gable and Rusev after that match.
Yeah, because storyline-wise, I could say that even when Gable is running circles around him and even when Rusev has pinned him, you could not say that Rusev feels a little bit of a twinge of jealousy that he almost got himself outnumbered.
Yeah.
With Gable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Storyline-wise, that would be perfect for a rivalry.
Yeah.
But they're going in with Orton and Rusev. I think it's just paint by the
I think it's a placeholder.
Yeah, it's just a placeholder, I think, because I think this is just Orton trying to bounce back from his loss to Jinder Mahal. So there's that.
No. All right, but we took care of the 1,000-pound elephant.
I think we took care of it.
We got the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
Okay, what's that?
That is Asuka and Ember Moon.
Okay. I think that's also kind of cute.
That promo stuff in the ring this past Wednesday. Oh my God. Listening to Asuka speak, first of all, her English is good enough where she can go up to the main roster now. Okay. Which is where I think she's headed to after TakeOver. Either with or without the title, she's going up because it's time.
Okay.
But nobody, her with her, nobody's ready for Asuka. Out walks Ember Moon and flat tells Asuka, you're not ready for Ember Moon.
Of course. I mean,
that was like, and then all of a sudden Asuka puts her hand out to go, and I'm like, okay, what's going to happen here? I knew something was going to happen. I was expecting Asuka to kick her or something, not slap her across the face. I was like, holy shit. It's like, you could see it that they're both selling heat against, with each other, but it's not really there. I bet they were in the back afterwards laughing their asses off with how well they got that over.
Of course. I mean, it's like they had both of them standing in the ring, exchanging words, verbal jabs at each other. They had their Full Sail crowd in their palm of their hands.
Oh, yes, they did.
They had it in the moment, and they used it very well. And it was the short, clear, concise, to the point promo segments is done very, very well in this segment with Ember and Asuka. And we both know that short, concise promo segments are something that NXT has always done magnificently.
Yes.
Has always done beautifully. They keep it short, simple, to the point, and it is done wonderfully.
6, maybe 7 minutes altogether from start to finish, and it was awesome.
Yes. This, my friend, and I think you would really appreciate this. This is Wrestling Booking 101.
Yes, it is. This is Wrestling Booking old school.
That is Wrestling Booking 101. You sell your face character. You sell your face character perfectly, giving her props to lay out her plan for the big show that is going to come up in TakeOver. And as the champion, she would have to respond to the challenger.
Yep.
And oh my God, they delivered. It is like an exclamation mark before Takeover comes.
And then in the end, Ember hitting her finisher was, great. It
Great.
was like out of nowhere because Asuka had knocked her out. Asuka had knocked her out of the ring, and the next thing you know, here comes Ember Moon off top rope. Boom,
boom, eclipse.
And the eclipse. But the thing that I really liked was you saw something that you don't see all that often in a lot of professional sports, hockey, basketball, football, baseball. The competitors have a lot of superstitions.
Yes.
And one of the superstitions is do not touch the trophy or the title you're going for until you win it. Because there was the belt laying there in the ring. And you saw Ember Moon basically kneeling over it, and she went to reach for it and then stopped herself. She did it 2 or 3 times. She was going to grab it. No. She sold the superstition.
Yes.
And Mauro Ranallo was the one who pointed it out. He brought that superstition up. She sold it.
Yes.
Beautifully.
Exactly.
I'm not going to touch it. And she said, I'm not touching it till it's mine. If you read her lips, that's what she says. I'm not touching it till it's mine.
Yes, exactly. And like I said, this is wrestling booking 101, where everything works together. The talents work together to bring up the segment, to deliver in the segment. The commentators did their job beautifully. Props to Mauro Ranallo for it, and not just him, but all the commentators there in NXT, Percy Watson and Nigel McGuinness. Okay, but Mauro Ranallo, Mauro especially, he delivered that. He delivered that nuance that Ember did, and he caught it up and he sold it.
Yep.
He caught it up and sold it. That was perfect. Like I said, this is wrestling booking 101. It was wonderfully executed. And
way to go, Triple H. Way to go, Triple H. He knows how to book.
We already know that Triple H knows how to book. This is his baby right there.
Yep.
So
there for a while, it was looking pretty much like I was on life support, but he's turned it around again.
Oh no. When you think it's on life support, Triple H grabs the paddle and shocks it back to life again.
Yep. He figures out a way to do it.
He figures out a way to do it. Correct. And let's not forget that Aleister Black facing the debuting Kyle O'Reilly in NXT. That was awesome as well.
Yes, that was a hell of a match too.
Yes, that was a hard-hitting match. That was fast-paced. I mean, Ring of Honor alum Kyle O'Reilly made his NXT debut. Big ovation from Full Sail University there. He actually uniquely became the second member of Red Dragon to battle Black, because before this, Black battled his partner Bobby Fish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a funny point to take, but yes, there's a lot of strikes, there's a lot of kicks, and I mean, my goodness, did they build Aleister Black's character perfectly as well.
Yep.
I mean, this is another A+. To me, it's another A+.
It was
segment. It was an A+ segment along with the Asuka and Ember Moon promo.
I mean, NXT's back at knocking it out of the park again.
Yes. I mean, like we can agree, WWE has had a solid to great match, great week of wrestling in this week.
Yes, they did.
Mean, with examples of wrestling booking in Wrestling Booking 101, how to book a show, how to book a match, in Asuka addressing Ember Moon in NXT, and even the returning Johnny Gargano fighting Raul Mendoza. That was okay. And that was good because it helps build back Johnny Gargano's character. All in all, NXT has brought back up the doldrums back again, and I could not wait to look at. I think you and I would agree that we both can't wait for Takeover to just come.
For what?
For Takeover to come. come knocking on our door.
Oh,
Take over.
Yes. I need Takeover to get here already.
Yes.
And which reminds me,
Mm-hmm.
I might as well start. We might as well start promoting it now. The Saturday before Takeover and SummerSlam.
Okay.
MDS and myself are going to be doing a special edition show. We're going to try to get together a panel of 2 or 3 others, and we're going to discuss all the matches and everything going
into Takeover
through SummerSlam those 2 days.
Yep.
It'll be Saturday. Haven't got a time determined yet. We'll have that next week, but that's what our plan is.
We'll hash it out.
I think it's going to be great. We're talking about doing it just for the big 4, which means Royal Rumbles, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. For those 4, the big 4 pay-per-views.
Yes.
We'll only do those special edition shows 4 times a year.
Yes.
Which I believe is going to be, they're going to be, they're saying this one is going to be anywhere from 4.5 to 6 hours long. Probably that's including pre-show and main show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just SummerSlam.
Yes. And
so we're going to have about 8 to 10 hours of freaking wrestling
to talk about
in about 2 hours.
In about 2 hours. Let's hope it's not going to be about 3 hours, because that's going to be breaking people's records.
Yeah, and I don't want to go that long. But yeah, that's our plan. If you have questions, about it, or if you're interested, you can get a hold of myself or MDS through the Nightly or on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a hold of me at Takers_Minion on Twitter, and you can get a hold of MDS. What is it again, MDS?
Okay, I'm gonna. You can catch me on the Nightly or on Twitter. Becky Got Bank 666. I am gonna rock this. I don't mind. I don't care. Thank you, Swiss. Thank you, Swiss, for the name. So never mind. But yes, if you are interested into joining the discussion where we just shoot the breeze and talk shit about the show, the Takeover show, or the Big 4 that is coming.
It's going to be, like I said, we're going to do the Takeover and the SummerSlam.
Yes.
We're going to try to cover both shows that day.
Basically, we're going to, but basically, if you're interested or you just want to just sit down and chat, just hit us up on the DMs or hit us up when we show up in the Nightly. So we can hash it out. So,
all right.
Anyways.
Don't forget that following us is Fizz's Wacky World of Wrestling with Sal, but I think Sal is out of pocket today, and I think Fizzy's sick, but I don't know if he's going to do the show or not.
Yes. They're not doing the show today. They're going to do the show on tomorrow, on the day after.
Okay. We can also, don't forget tonight, you got, what is it? 2 men, 1 sport.
2 guys, 1 sport, featuring Crazy Chris and Curtain Jerker.
Right. And then we have
awesome show.
That is a great show. We also have on Wednesdays, we have Wednesday night shooting with Tanya Rogers and I keep forgetting his name, Andrew Swift.
Yes. And then we have Rudo Radio.
We have Not Your Demographic, correct. All these podcasts and radio shows some are affiliated, others are not. We try to support each other to make them more popular. Please give them a listen. Sign up, subscribe, and sign up and sign up and comment to subscribe and comment to us. Give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the Nightly. When I see you,
you'll see Taker in the Nightly. Yes, you'll see Taker in the Nightly when he sees you there. You'll see me in the Nightly when I'm Hardy and Hale back again.
Okay. All right, guys. It's been good. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Ciao.
Bye.